What makes a hero? Is it superpowers? Or is it someone who does good even when no one is watching? It was a late night at one of Los Angeles' largest children's hospitals. The dim fluorescent lights cast a pale glow over the corridors, the air thick with the scent of antiseptics and an unspoken sadness. The rhythmic beeping of monitors echoed through the halls, a steady reminder that the little patients inside were still fighting. Standing at the entrance, a tall man in a black coat lingered for a moment, his head slightly bowed as he observed the silent hallways. It was just another routine night for the hospital staff, but for him, it was different. Keanu Reeves had entered the hospital unnoticed, slipping in without security or fanfare. Many celebrities visited hospitals, posed for pictures, made donations, and left. But Keanu wasn't here for a photo op or a press release. He came for something much simpler, just to be there for the children. As he walked down the corridor, a nurse passing by noticed him. She froze for a moment, narrowing her eyes as if trying to confirm what she was seeing. Then, almost in a whisper, she spoke. "Mr. Reeves." "You? Here?" Keanu offered a gentle smile and pressed a finger to his lips. "No one needs to know, all right?" The nurse, still in shock, nodded slowly. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This man truly wanted nothing in return. "But why?" Keanu shrugged lightly. "Because maybe, just for tonight, I can be someone's hero." And with that, what started as an ordinary night began to unfold into an unforgettable story. Keanu walked slowly past the hospital rooms, glancing inside each one. Some children were sound asleep, their tiny chests rising and falling with each breath. Others lay awake, staring blankly at the ceiling, their eyes heavy with exhaustion. Then from one slightly open door he heard something, a soft voice making sound effects. Keanu paused and peeked inside. A little boy sat on his hospital bed, holding a toy gun, slowly mimicking the famous bullet-dodging scene from The Matrix. Keanu stepped inside without making a sound. The boy lifted his head, locking eyes with the visitor. For a brief second he was frozen in shock. Then his eyes widened in pure disbelief. "No way! You're really Keanu Reeves?" Keanu crouched down, flashing a playful grin. "If I am, then let's see if you've got what it takes to dodge some bullets." The boy's face lit up with excitement. He instantly sprang to his feet, and together they recreated the famous Matrix scene in exaggerated slow motion. Keanu bent backward, dodging imaginary bullets, while the boy mirrored his movements, laughing uncontrollably. In that moment, the hospital room transformed into a movie set, filled with joy, laughter, and a sense of escape from reality. Outside the door, a few nurses had gathered, watching in quiet amusement, their faces glowing with warmth. But while everyone was smiling, Keanu noticed something in the corner of the room. A little girl sat quietly on her bed, watching them with tired, longing eyes. She was frail, her body weakened, her hands resting motionless in her lap. Her gaze held something different from the laughter around her, something deeper, a quiet sorrow. Keanu's smile softened. "And what about you? Want to join in?" The little girl averted her eyes, pressing her hands against her lap. In a voice so faint it barely reached him, she whispered, "I can't run. Maybe I never will again." In that moment, Keanu felt something tighten in his chest. This wasn't just a visit anymore. It was something much bigger, and the hardest part of the night had just begun. Sometimes, the heaviest words are spoken in the softest whispers. Keanu Reeves slowly approached the little girl sitting silently in her bed. While the other kids laughed and played, she remained still, watching from the corner of the room. The joy in the air seemed to fade as it reached her, swallowed by the quiet weight of her presence. Keanu knelt beside her, lowering himself to her eye level. "Hey there, sweetheart. What's your name?" The girl didn't lift her head. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Lily?" Keanu smiled, but he felt a growing heaviness in his chest. "Lily, why aren't you playing with us?" Lily hesitated. She bit her lip gently before speaking in a quiet, fragile voice. "Because I can't run, and maybe I never will again." The room fell silent. The playful laughter had stopped. The joy that had filled the space just moments ago had vanished. Keanu felt his heart tighten. How many times had he heard words like these? How many children had he met who were fighting battles far too big for their small bodies? But this time, something about it felt different, heavier. Lily finally looked up at him, her voice trembling as she whispered, "Promise me you won't forget me." And in that moment, time stood still. Keanu's eyes glistened. Those words etched themselves deep into his soul. He wouldn't forget Lily. But more importantly, he couldn't let her feel forgotten. And so, that night, Keanu decided he had to do something. This was just the beginning. Keanu Reeves sat down beside Lily's hospital bed, unsure of what to say. What could he do to help? What could he say to bring her even the smallest comfort? After a deep breath, he smiled softly. "Can I tell you a story?" Lily gave the slightest nod. Keanu began to tell her about his own childhood, the difficult moments, the times he felt lost. He spoke of losing his father, of how his mother was the one who kept him going, how life could be cruel, but that even in the hardest times, knowing someone cares about you makes all the difference. Even when you feel alone, there is always someone thinking about you. Lily's eyes shimmered as she listened, absorbing every word. Keanu gently took her small hand in his. "And I want you to know, I'm thinking about you too. I won't forget you, Lily." A small, genuine smile slowly spread across her face. That night, Keanu never left the hospital. He walked from room to room, spending time with every child he could. He played games, told jokes, and even reenacted the Matrix fight scenes for those who could barely sit up. As dawn approached, a nurse quietly walked up to him, eyes filled with gratitude. "You gave these children the best night of their lives." But Keanu simply shook his head. "No, they gave me something even greater. Tonight, they taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes, a few simple words can spark a change far greater than imagined." Keanu Reeves stood at the hospital's entrance. The first light of dawn painted the sky in soft hues. He was exhausted, but a quiet sense of peace settled within him. That night, the time he spent with Lily and the other children had taught him something profound. Being a hero didn't require playing one on screen. Before leaving, Keanu turned back and glanced at Lily's room one last time. She was asleep now, breathing steadily, her face relaxed. He took a quiet step inside and leaned close to whisper into her ear, "I won't forget you, okay?" A faint smile curled on Lily's lips, even in sleep. But for Keanu, the night wasn't where this story ended. 1 week later, a special announcement flashed across TV screens. Keanu Reeves launches a new charity campaign for critically ill children. During the press conference, a journalist raised a question. "What inspired you to start this initiative?" Keanu didn't hesitate. His expression remained calm, but there was something deeper in his gaze, a quiet determination, a promise. "Because a little girl once told me she didn't want to be forgotten, and I never will." At that moment, thousands of people watching felt their hearts tighten. Keanu Reeves had done more than just bring a few smiles that night. He had given those children hope. He had shown them that they were seen, that they mattered. And most importantly, he sent a message to the world. Real heroism begins when you change someone's life. From that day on, at charity events for sick children, an unexpected guest would always show up. The words whispered in Lily's hospital room had ignited something much bigger. Because some stories don't end in a single night. Some are meant to be remembered for a lifetime.